Hey everyone, it's Final Round. My name is Jordan, and I'll admit it, I sold. I work for the Sportsbooks. You can blame Steven from Just a Bet Outside. Yeah, you'll find out later why. But we have a three-game slate for Tuesday. I have a few picks for you guys. I've been just digging through, going back and forth, contemplating some things, and I'll let you know my thoughts, what I've thought on some plays or some players, some teams, all that, and I'll give you the plays that I found that I like. So you will see images that come up on the screen. Those will be from a data app called Outlier. There's a link in the description to give you a 7-day free trial for Outlier. And I had someone tell me Outlier does not work. And Outlier is a database with stats of historical data. It doesn't give you any picks or anything, so I don't know how it would not work when it's not trying to. It works perfectly giving you the historical data, so I'll just say that. So going to jump right into this first pick. We have the Liberty versus Dallas. Dallas is one of the worst defensive teams when it comes to scoring, and the Liberty are pretty tough defensively, and they have been very tough coming out of the break. From the Olympics. So Dallas is going to give up a lot of points. Who on the Liberty is going to score a lot of points? You have a few options to pick from. I'm going to go with Sabrina Ionescu of the New York Liberty over 20.5 points at -110. Breanna Stewart is right there at 20.5 points as well. Reason why I'm going to go with Sabrina, saying with the speed and guards getting out in transition, looking to Sabrina Ionescu to go over in points. So she's gone over in 6 out of the last 7 games. Her one miss was that blowout game against the Sparks, I believe it was. That's where Breanna Stewart went off. And it was like a 40-point blowout near halftime, and Sabrina Ionescu sat, all the starters sat. So she went under that, and she just played 23 minutes in that blowout. So really, she scored 18 points, so she could have gone 7 for 7, 7 out of the last 7. So I was just sitting there playing around with Outlier, like, okay, Sabrina Ionescu, she's gonna take a lot of shots. One note with Sabrina Ionescu, I checked her last year's volume, and then I checked this year. Her volume has gone up about 3 shots from 14 to 17, and then Breanna Stewart's volume has actually gone down a little bit. So now they're about even when it comes to field goal attempts. But I can filter with Outlier when players are out to see how a player has done. So Benaja Laney Hamilton has been out. She's going to be out for this game. And I filtered with Outlier for Sabrina Ionescu, see how she has done scoring. And pops up and it says 89% hit rate on the 20.5 over. The only miss was that blowout where, she most likely goes over if she plays her regular minutes. So could easily be 100% on the over with Laney Hamilton sitting. I decided to check this because if you look at Sabrina Ionescu, I wouldn't do this for this game because the matchup is really good for assist. But Sabrina Ionescu, if you check her when Courtney Vandersloot returned, her assists have dropped dramatically, and she's gone under a ton. Before Vandersloot was there, Sabrina Ionescu was getting tons of assists, like almost 10 assist games. So that's why I went over to Laney Hamilton, see how she does scoring, because I know Laney Hamilton gets a good amount of volume, and Sabrina Ionescu's been killing it. So that's Sabrina Ionescu over 20.5 points. Now, a lot of people are going to be looking at Satou Sabally and thinking, okay, well, you took her over 1.5 3-pointers last time for plus money, and it hit pretty easily. I don't hate that play. I don't hate her assist. It's just the Liberty have been playing very, very good defense. So if you guys could, please like the video. And if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. If you have a little bit of extra time, could you leave a comment for the algorithm? And the reason why I said earlier that I sold was Steven from Just a Bet Outside. He set me up with the big sports books. I have links now where you can get the promos and everything. So if you want to check those out, there'll be links in the description. That'll take you there with the current promo that's going on. And that's for like Fanduel, DraftKings, Bet, MGM, Caesars, Bet 365, all those big ones. So thank you, Steven. They still won't tell me who's going to get the call or not, because if they did, I would be a millionaire and I would disappear. So this next game is going to be Seattle versus Washington. Washington's not very good. Seattle just had a pretty bad game against the Indiana Fever, but that's just more of the Indiana Fever being on the rise than it is Seattle being bad. So I'm going to go with Skylar Diggins-Smith over 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists at -110. This actually has a 63% hit rate on the season. And for a good part of the season, before she went into the break, she was taking under 10 field goal attempts a game. So she comes out of the break taking just a ton of field goal attempts, 21 in the first game, 17 in the next game. So with that high volume of shooting, I really like Skylar Diggins-Smith, and her assists haven't quite been there yet. She's been getting 5 in the past 2 games, but she can definitely get a ton of assists. This matchup opens that up for possibility of a breakout game for points and assists, and she just needs 3 rebounds to make the PRA equal the points plus assist. So she sometimes hits a 3 or goes over, and it helps with the line. That's why the hit rate is at 63%, where points and assists is at 59%. So a little bit better with the points, rebounds, and assists. Washington, they give up the 3rd most points and the 3rd most assists, and they also give up the 6th most rebounds. So really good opportunity here for Skylar Diggins-Smith, and she has also gone over in both games this season versus Washington with this line. And someone else for Seattle, you could take a look at Jewel Lloyd. She went under one time this season against them, I believe it was. And then on the other side of things with Washington, they're still kind of working in some players who are really good, but they were injured and they just returned after the break, like Brittany Sykes. Still waiting for her to get a good matchup, and then I'm going to take her points. I think she's due to go off. She's a really good player. And then Shakira Austin, I know I played her last time, but she scares me a little bit because she just gets 20 minutes a game, and Seattle's pretty tough against bigs. We saw Ezzy Magbegor get a ton of block shots versus the Indiana Fever. So before I get into this last one, I want to shout out my partners with Pick'em daily fantasy apps, Underdog Fantasy, Sleeper, ParlayPlay, and ChalkBoard. Use promo code FINDAROUND11 on any of these. Underdog just announced a $1,000 deposit match because NFL is starting, and then the rest of these apps are still doing the $100 match with the promo code. So there's links in the description. I'll take you straight there with the promo codes. So this 3rd game is going to be the Connecticut Sun versus the LA Sparks. LA Sparks aren't very good defensively. Connecticut Sun, they're tough to gauge right now just because Mabry has just joined the team. She took the most shots last game. She wasn't very efficient last game. I would definitely take her points if she was more efficient, but Dejanay Carrington's only got like 20 minutes in that game, and I imagine her minutes are going to go up, and maybe, Mabry's thinking like, all right, I'm on a new team, maybe I shouldn't take that many shots again. I don't know, but if she's just more efficient, she's going to do well and she's going to hit her line. So I'm just staying away from that team right now just because I don't know where the volume's going to go between the players. And Alyssa Thomas, she's a great passer and everything, but her line, she doesn't hit it very often. So she'll have huge assist games, and then she just doesn't do it on other days. So she's just tough to take. But I'm going to go with Rakia Jackson, the rookie, over 12.5 points at -120 of the LA Sparks. I was looking at Dearica Hamby, but she got 1 rebound in that last game that I picked her. 1 rebound in the second half. So I'm staying away from Dearica Hamby, and she actually got shut down earlier this year against Connecticut Sun. The thing about the Sun, they're very good defensively. Their stats look great for the season or the past month or whatever. But since coming back from the break with Mabry in the lineup, they've given up 91 points to Dallas. They ended up winning that game. They scored over 100, and then they lost to Atlanta, and they gave up 82 points. That would put them near the middle of the league. So I think they're still trying to sort things out defensively there with Mabry, because Mabry's playing almost the entire game. So Rakia Jackson played against them earlier this year and got 10 points on 7 field goal attempts. And since she's a rookie, obviously she's going to be, developing and, taking more shots and all that. And now over the last 10 games, she's taking 13.5 shots. So her volume has pretty much doubled since that first meeting on June 18th. And with that, she's gone over this line in 8 out of the last 10 games and 3 of 3 since returning. You see she's barely went over in a couple of them. But in that first game, she played just 25 minutes, and now her minutes, it says she's averaging 32 minutes over the last 10 games. One of those had an overtime game, so that's a little bit skewed. We could probably say about 30 minutes a game over the last 10 games. So I filtered with Outlier for her with 28 plus minutes. How does she play? And this popped up 82% hit rate on the over. 9 out of 11 games she has gone over, and that's against some tough teams like Minnesota. And in that first game, she scored 10 points on 7 field goal attempts. If she gets 6 more attempts or 7 more attempts, she's probably going over that line too. So she's just a rookie who's getting better as the season goes along against what appears to be a tough matchup, or the Connecticut Sun are still just trying to figure things out on the defensive end when you're adding a new player like Marina Mabry. So if you'd like to discuss lines further, I have a Discord. Link is in the description. You can hop on in there. There's discussion going on about baseball, about WNBA, preseason football, all kinds of things. It's free. Just hop on in there. And as far as a recap goes of the last video, I had Jewel Lloyd over 20.5 points. She had really good history there against Indiana, and she hit that pretty easily. Caitlin Clark, I'll talk about her last. I had Asia Wilson over 26.5 points. She put up over 30 points. That play is still a 68% hit rate play. If they keep it at 26, if the matchup is solid, she can be fine. And then Caitlin Clark, 9.5 assists. It was almost even money, minus 104. So she ended up right there at 9 at the end of the game. And just watching the game during that game, if they kept track of potential assists, she would probably have 20 plus potential assists. And I know, there's a potential assist where your teammate goes, they get the ball and they get blocked or something like that. I'm talking about like they missed wide open layups, and of like the 5 or 6 that they missed that were wide open, they just needed one of those, and she goes over this line. So we got 2 right, 1 wrong, and the 1 wrong was a hook, and it was just ridiculous. Even the commentator said in the third quarter, they said, well, Caitlin Clark's got 3 assists right now in this quarter. She probably should have 8 of them in this quarter. So it was tough to watch. But yeah, I still feel like the read was there and everything. But yeah, it is what it is. So hopefully we can go 3 for 3 for Tuesday. So I'm going to get this edited and get it out to you. God bless you all. It's a fun round. My name is Jordan. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.